Roll call.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mr. Genowine? Here. Mr. Haddad?
Here.
Simcoe here. Then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The purpose of this meeting, I guess, is to pick a replacement for Mrs. Contrada, who resigned her position on December 31st. We have till the 30th to replace her, which is, I think, Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday.
So we had about 19 applicants. Out of the 19 applicants, we had a combined, out of the three of us, choice of 6 people that we had interviewed, and we narrowed that down to 5 finalists, and we're going to introduce them in alphabetical order. When we introduce you, you can come up to the microphone, podium, and talk, and give a quick 2 to 3 minute speech, because we know sometimes that goes a minute or two over, and tell who you are, what you want to bring to the township, and why you want this position. So the first one would be John DeSale.
Good afternoon. I had planned on a 3 to 5 minute presentation because that was what was in the letter, so forgive me.
That's what we're giving. No, that's what we're giving you because we don't want anybody going over. So go ahead, John.
I'll try not to go over.
You're fine.
My name is John DeSale, and I want to thank the trustees and the administration for considering me as a qualified applicant for the Sylvania Township trustee opening. I've been a lifelong resident of the Toledo area. My wife and I moved to Sylvania Township a number of years ago. My wife and I considered several local communities before we decided on choosing Sylvania Township. We chose Sylvania Township based on a number of factors, including the high level of police, fire, and other township services, the recreational opportunities, and overall quality of life. I've always had an interest in politics and public service. I feel a calling to public service. Some of my family members have engaged in this calling, including my late great-uncle, Mike DeSale, who was former mayor of the city of Toledo and governor of the state of Ohio. I believe my interest in public service is demonstrated in part by the numerous volunteer positions that I have held over the years, including volunteer positions with the Toledo Bar Association, the YMCA and JCC of Greater Toledo, the Toledo Community Foundation, and several other local charitable organizations. I have been a practicing attorney for 20 years, and I'm licensed both in Ohio and Michigan. Most of that time period I've had my own independent law office. In my law practice, I provide services to clients primarily in matters of real estate, business, wills, trusts, probate, and related areas. My real estate practice includes sales, leases, landlord-tenant issues, zoning issues, negotiating loan documents, including loan documents with the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development. My business practice includes corporate and limited liability company formation, negotiating contracts, business transactions, and negotiating employment agreements. I work a lot with government entities in my practice, including the various courts, the County Recorder's and Auditor's Office, the Ohio Secretary of State, the Internal Revenue Service, the Ohio Department of Taxation, and local zoning boards. With my independent law office, I feel that I'm flexible enough to handle the additional responsibilities of being a Sylvania Township trustee. As an attorney and the other positions I have held in my life, I've had to assume different roles. These include that of advocate, negotiator, mediator, arbitrator, counselor, and diplomat. All of these skills can be beneficial in government and public service, and I think I possess all of these skills. I consider myself an independent. I think this allows me to see the big picture and be able to consider the best ideas from all constituencies. I'm in favor of working together, local governments and organizations working together in the spirit of cooperation in order to realize the most effective way of providing services and doing business. I have seen firsthand how working together can benefit all involved through my involvement with the YMCA and JCC merger, in my participation in a recent joint endeavor between the Toledo Bar Association and Toledo Board of Realtors, in which we developed and revised the standard residential real estate purchase agreement and standard addenda for use by our local community. My involvement in this effort allowed me to be recognized by the Toledo Bar Association with their 2010 Distinguished Service Award. I think I can bring a fresh perspective to the board of the Sylvania Township Trustees. The small business that I have engaged in managing my own law office and the volunteer charitable boards that I have participated on, I think give me a unique perspective on the bottom line and how organizations need to operate. I want to be appointed because I value public service, and I want to become more deeply involved in our local government in the community my wife and I truly enjoy. I believe that my leadership abilities can help Sylvania Township. I want to put my skills to work to try to better our community. I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work for the common good of Sylvania Township. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the list, according to alphabetical order, would be Neil Mahoney.
Hello, and I'm Neil Mahoney, and thank you again for allowing me to be here this afternoon. I reside at 4203 Shanley Green. I am married and have 4 children, 3 of which are actively involved in Sylvania schools. It's easy to sit back and relax, but I'm not that kind of a guy. I am far more inclined to give back, and that is why I'm applying for Sylvania Township trustee. As some of you may know, I've been a member of the Sylvania Zoning Commission for over 5 years, and I'm aware of the stress that can be, by my own experience, by being on that board. I, like you, have sat in the same seats that you guys have, with the room overflowing, like you guys have, case in point, the fire department last year with the fire location. We need to be good stewards for the township, and it's vital that we look out for what's best in the best interests of its people, regardless of any exterior influences that may come upon us. My interest actually came back in 2007 when I was asked by the township trustees and some of the administrators to assist with the township land use plan. And this is actually how I really decided or thought that this would be a great way to go and a good career or a good opportunity to give back. I, along with myself, the township trustees, the Lucas County Planning Commission, and most importantly the public, assisted in rewriting the land use plan for Sylvania Township. I saw firsthand how the public process worked by attending public meetings, getting into the neighborhoods and understanding what their needs and concerns were. And, excuse me, I'm a little nervous, and I shouldn't be because I do this a lot, but I apologize. And again, the beauty of the process was seeing how the public and private side work together. You have trustees who've done a wonderful job over the last years being fiscally responsible. And looking at the budgets and discussing on a few occasions with Jim Beck, it looks as though there could be some headwinds with regards to revenue and expenses. I am co-owner of Midland Title, and I have felt these headwinds for years. I hope to bring a perspective that is of value to the township and to assist the present trustees with fresh ideas. I have been on record with the township for years. Over the years, you've heard me on tape. What you see is what you get. There are no surprises, and I ask that you vote me for Sylvania Township trustee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Neil.
Next on the list would be Don Miller.
Thank you for your invitation and time today. My name's Don Miller, 3943 Bridge Creek Boulevard, and I will be very brief and to the point, which is usually my nature. I moved to Sylvania Township about 13 years ago, and our family fell in love with the community because of the people, schools, and recreational activities. I've been married to my wife Janine for over 16 years, and we have 2 children in the school system, Andrew and Rachel. Janine is a student at Rhodes College, and I'm a small business owner here in the township. I have a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Toledo. I've been an adjunct instructor, corporate trainer, and project manager for many local businesses and educational institutions. I've also been involved in business technology professionally for the past 18 years and continues to be a passion of mine. Without going into great technical detail on what I do for a living, I will mention that I provide technology solutions to small and large businesses to help the businesses become more efficient in what they do. In the process of doing these often complex projects, I handle the project management, the team development, communication with my customers, and the communication with my customers. This experience of leadership, communication, and management are directly related to this position. Outside of my work, I'm very involved in the community where I can be of use. I am and have been involved in various technical communities, political parties, political campaigns, charities, and ministries. In these roles, I have used my experience to organize, delegate, and inform to make the cause more positive for our community. As a Sylvania Township trustee, I will use my skills and experience to better impact our community. I will be decisive and investigative on tough challenges, such as the recent windmill farm and the water system. I will continue the path to move the path to more transparency, which you guys have been working on so hard this year, or the last year. And I will be fiscally conservative with the township funds to make sure that all the citizens get the best bang for their buck. I also want to reach out to our surrounding communities to leverage ways so we can just make this not a better community, but a better region as well. I'm excited for this opportunity to serve. I'm also excited to reach out to the community to learn more on their issues by campaigning for the election this fall. Thank you. Good luck to the other candidates, and God bless your decision.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Next is Stephen Rothschild.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Mr. Haddad, Mr. Genowine, Mr. Simcoe, members of the public. My name is Stephen Rothschild. I live at 2808 Squirrel Bend here in the township. I was born and raised in Sylvania Township. I attended Stranahan, Arbor Hills, and Northview High School. I'm married to Cheryl, who's been a powerhouse of excellence for the Sylvania schools for many, many years. She was the 2010 Educator of the Year as a layperson for the schools. We have 3 boys. Andrew graduated Southview last year as salutatorian of his class and is now at Northwestern University. Zachary's a sophomore and active in the band there, and Matthew's at Timberstone. I attended Northwestern University myself as an undergraduate with a Bachelor of Science in Speech, Communication Studies, and Economics. I attended Northwestern University Law School and graduated with honors in 1988. I came back to Toledo and joined the law firm of Shoemaker, Lupin, Kendrick, which is one of America's largest 250 firms. At Shoemaker, Lupin, Kendrick, I've been a business litigator for most of the last 23 years. I've recently, in the last 3 years, expanded my practice to trust and estate planning and also trust and estate litigation. I've been named to Best Lawyers in America for the last 3 or 4 years in the category of business litigation. In connection with my work as business litigator, I've been responsible for disputes involving contracts, both public and private, employment disputes, zoning and property disputes, government investigations, and tax appeals, just to name a few. At Shoemaker, Lupin, Kendrick, I distinguished myself as the youngest member at the time of our 8-person management team, responsible for our budget, our major capital spending, all revenue and expense for all of our offices. I currently sit on the Society of Financial Service Professionals, on their board of directors. I've been active in ABLE, LAWO, that's Advocates for Basic Legal Equality, and Legal Aid of Western Ohio. I've chaired their annual Equal Access to Justice dinner for the last 2 years, and I was an integral part of their campaign cabinet and responsible for building their beautiful Equal Access to Justice Center downtown. I'm a past president of Congregation B'nai Israel, located here in Sylvania. I'm also a past president of the United Jewish Council of Greater Toledo. I currently sit on the foundation for the Toledo Jewish community. I'm active at the Toledo Museum of Art on the President's Council. I'm also a fellow of the Ohio State Bar Foundation and the Toledo Bar Foundation. I'm a registered Republican, I'm a regular voter, and I'm a precinct captain for the Republican Party. I want to be Sylvania's next trustee because, frankly, I think I'm the best person for the job. I have a lot invested in our community, as all the candidates do, but I think I bring to the position a particular skill set and a recognition that there are, to me, 5 qualities that leaders need to have to effectively lead. And the first is gratitude. A leader has to be grateful for the opportunity to serve and grateful for the support of their friends and constituents. And they have to always remember that no one is solely responsible for their own success. A great leader has to have humility. They have to have not just a lack of arrogance, but a real understanding that I am one person who doesn't have all the answers. John F. Kennedy said 40 years ago plus, let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future. I believe that very strongly, and that's what I would bring to this position. Governing is a partnership between and among the trustees and between the trustees and their constituents. A leader has to have integrity. They have to be honest. They have to do what they say they're going to do, and they have to be prepared to lead consistent with their core values. A leader has to have emotional intelligence. To me, that means they need to be thick-skinned. They need to be able to listen. They need to be able to speak their mind when necessary, but most of all, they have to be open-minded. They have to realize it's not about them all the time, and it really is never about them. And lastly, a great leader has to have a sense of humor, because you can't take yourself too seriously all the time. You have to find the humor in difficult situations, and frankly, if I'm appointed to this board, I think I would bring a necessary hair balance to the committee. In conclusion, let me thank you again for the opportunity to present. I know you have a very difficult decision and a very qualified slate of candidates, but I just want to close by saying if I am appointed, I'm committed to running a very spirited campaign to retain the seat and give the citizens of Sylvania Township and the city of Sylvania an opportunity to vote for and elect the candidate that you select. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And last we have John Scott.
Thank you, gentlemen, members of the community. I first would also like to thank you guys for including me with such a fine pool of candidates. You did a great job in selecting all of them, and I would think that any one of them could do a very good job. But I do feel that I am the best candidate for the job. I have been a lifelong resident of Northwest Ohio. I have lived in Sylvania Township at 3651 Chesterton since 1998. I too have kids that attend Sylvania Public Schools. I have a daughter that's at Whiteford and a son that's at Arbor Hills. I graduated from the University of Toledo with a Bachelor's of Business Administration and a major in accounting. I went from there on to their law school and graduated from their law school with a law degree. Upon my graduation from law school, I joined what was then the Big 8 accounting firm of Touche Ross and worked in the public accounting field for a period of years. And then I went to the law firm of Cooper, Straub, Walensky, and Kramer, where I practiced law with the firm for approximately 5 years. After that, I went out on my own to practice law on my own and also to pursue some entrepreneurial pursuits. I developed numerous medical office buildings and also became involved with some small business ownership, including Olympic pools. I relish the opportunity to be a trustee. I think that my background, both educationally and maybe even more importantly, out in the real world and with the business background, brings a perspective that is necessary, especially in these challenging times that we all are facing. I have watched the work that has been done by the trustees. They are doing a fine job. Sylvania Township is strong. I want to keep it that way, and I want it to be even better as we move into the future. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Any comments, Ernie?
No. I think what the trustees intend to do, and that is to
Go into executive
move
session.
into executive session at this time. I think in the executive session, they're going to interview
Each of
the
the candidates.
candidates for maybe about 20 minutes or so. And then I think then they'll hopefully be able to make a decision this evening. I think they've decided that it's not necessary for candidates to stay around after they interview. Is that what? Because it could be a long, it could be an hour or so, or a couple hours before that's all concluded. I think that they'd like people to leave their cell phones so they can get in touch with them afterwards, and make a call if they can come to a decision tonight.
Yeah, we're going to do alphabetical order, the way we started out already. That sound fine to you?
Yep.
That way it'd be easier on us. And then last but not least, feel free if you want to talk with anybody in the room and stick around that much time, it's up to you too. Is that okay? Okay.
So
With that-
we have an motion to go into executive session at this time.
So moved.
Second. I'm calling the roll. Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
We'll be going into executive session at 4:20.